Hello everybody. So today we're going to start with an oil change and all three fluids eventually here. Oil change on a 1998 Wide Glide Harley Davidson. And one thing I want to point out right away is that on this Wide Glide, for some reason, instead of the drain plug for the oil being on the side, it's on the bottom. So on the back right, you have the transmission, and up towards the front, you have the oil. Which on a lot of these Evo motors, the oil is on the side of the case, not on the bottom. A little bit back there on the left side. So, yeah, that's a bit different. So I already popped off the oil fill cap, and we're just going to go ahead and drain this oil. It's already warmed up, but you're supposed to warm it up first a little bit, make this oil flow. But I'm not quite sure if I got it enough. So this is a 3/8. It's a wee bit dirty, not too bad. Since this oil pan is difficult with the motorcycle jack in the way, inconvenient, I'm going to put a little rag under here to level it out. So we just let that drain for a while. I'm going to take a look at the drain plug. Two things. Let me get a rag and clean this. So there's a rubber O-ring in here that you want to inspect and make sure it's in good condition, reusable, or replace it. And then in the top here, this is magnetic, and just check for, any metal shavings and everything. This one's got a little tiny bit of metal in it, but not too bad. It's good. Just gonna wipe this down. Get it all nice and clean. I never like to put anything back dirty, even though, hey, it's just oil, but always take the time. It pays off in the long run. Inspect the threads a little bit, make sure that looks good. All right, that oil's done draining out. And I'm going through this with you guys because I know we talk a lot about Toyotas and stuff too, the old Toyotas. But this is a great way to see how I actually work. And, attention to detail and that kind of thing to keep your cars, bikes, motorcycles, boats, whatever, running a long time. So, the devil's in the details. So I'm going to give this O-ring a quick look. It looks really good. So we're going to reuse that one. I would say it's perfect. Yeah, everything looks good. We'll pop this drain bolt back in. And there's going to be more Toyota content coming up. If you guys interested in that, old 4Runners, pickups. Probably after the first of the year. I'm going to do a few quick videos in the meantime if I can. But after the first of the year, there's going to be some projects on the 92 4Runner that I'm going to take some videos of. So move this pan out of the way. And so there's going to be some interior fixing up and replacement on the Toyota. There's going to be some overhaul stuff on the engine. There's a little oil leak to take care of. And everything's been in there for 30 years, so we're going to possibly replace the entire air conditioning system because the AC hasn't worked in a long time. And probably some hoses and some rubber, and take the top part of the engine off and replace some things under there that are under the manifold that are very difficult to get to otherwise. So might as well do it all while we're in there, taking care of the oil leak. I'm not sure if it's a valve cover or the rear cam seals. All right, so torque wrench, we're going to torque this to about 20 foot-pounds or so. And if I haven't said it already, this is a 3/8. Click, 20 foot-pounds. All right. So that's that. Let me get an oil filter wrench. Of course, the one I want to use is not here. I'm going to pause you guys while I find the correct oil filter wrench. Okay, so the oil filter is right here. Nice fancy chrome one on this bike. All right, so we're going to pop that off, and then we'll put on a new one. And again, I'll go through kind of the details. So right here. So I'm going to use this kind of oil filter wrench. It's just a grabby swivel one that I can use a ratchet on. Who knows how tight this thing is on here. Pop my ratchet on. Now that chrome is slippery, huh? Alright, this might not work. Nope. Alright, we have to figure something else out. Somebody's got it on there with the jaws of death. There it goes. All right. Oil filter pliers to the rescue. These guys. Get the oil pan underneath. Put a rag there and catch some of the oil so it doesn't run all over the chrome. As soon as that comes back, we're going to tip it face up so we don't spill too much. Caught some. Save a little bit of a mess. All right, I'm going to go to the shelf and grab an air filter, or oil filter. Air filter wouldn't work too well. So this particular oil filter has a nut on there, which makes it easier to get it off in the future. So I'm switching to those kind. Don't want to use it to put it on though. In this oil change, we're going to do some synthetic AMSoil. I've heard mixed reviews on this stuff, but we're going to give it a shot. But might switch to something else next time. I'm going to do some more reading on it. So first things first, is I'm going to give this surface a little bit of a wipe, and it's also a good opportunity to make sure the old oil filter gasket is not stuck on there, and also wipe off down here where any oil dripped. Just to keep some things clean. Bikes need to be clean. And that way we're not sending up smoke trails. So that looks pretty good. Alright, so there's no gasket stuck on there from the old oil filter, so we verified that. The threads all look good. I can feel them, they're nice and smooth. Make sure I have you in the right position here. Alright. I'm going to pop the plastic off this oil filter. All shiny and chromy. I'll wipe my hands a little bit better so I don't get that all full of fingerprints. I'm going to take the new bottle of oil. I don't think this part is mission critical. Well, some of it is, but let's go over it. So what I like to do with the oil filters is there's all the filtering elements inside there. Some guys will tell you to fill the filter all the way up, but when you go to put it on, you're just going to spill it all over again. So I like to put a couple of tablespoons in there and just get that filter element kind of spin it around, kind of priming it, just so on first startup the oil doesn't have to soak the whole filter. It's already ready to go. I can see it in there soaking up. I'll put just another dash. So this way when it starts up, yeah, the first bits of oil go through there. It doesn't have to, it's already pre-soaked. It's not going to just all that stuff up and starve the engine for a second. It's probably not the end of the world, but you know, totally up to you. So this gasket, I like to put a little oil on my finger and just oil up both sides of it. I just pop it out, do both sides. This helps it spin on nicer, create a nice seal. And by popping it out, we get a seal on both sides. Make sure that seats in there nicely. Wipe my hands once again. Just wipe my fingerprints off this pretty filter. Okay, so now we're ready to put it on. Nice and lined up. Give it a spin until it stops. And then once it's on there, you just want to give it about a half turn hand tight, because otherwise it just becomes a bugger to come off, and that's all you need really. It's plenty. I think we're good. All right. So this bike takes about 3 quarts of oil, including filter. So we're going to go to the other side to the oil filler. Fill her up. I just clean my funnel with a little brake clean to make sure that there's no particles in there. Nothing getting inside the engine. Nice clean funnel. I always wipe them off after I use them as well. Alright, so here I already loosened it up like I told you to drain it. So this is the oil filler cap. Just pop that out with the dipstick. So these you basically have to check with it leaning on the kickstand. So we're going to put some oil in there now, and then once we finally lower this thing down on the kickstand, we'll come back and check and make sure see where we're at. So, all right, funnel. Put you down over here. Go ahead and fill this thing. So what I'm going to do is 3-quart capacity in theory, but overfilling is always a pain in the butt. So I'm going to put 2.5 quarts for now until we can run it. Let everything circulate around and fill up, and then we'll go back and check again later. One. Two. It's a little more than 2.5 I put in there. Should be good. So like I said, once on the kickstand, we'll double check all that. Let's save these cans for old oil. And let that funnel drain a little bit. Put the cap back on. We'll be good. Nice, easy. Remember to always take your time. Be patient. Be meticulous. And your vehicles will last you a long time. There's no reason for them not to. except for manufacturing problems, design problems. We know old Toyotas are super reliable, and these old Evo engines on the Harleys also. Probably for reliability the best they've made. That or the Evo Sportster. Wipe. Alright, so we'll come back later, do some other things, finish this oil change and all that stuff. It's time for me to go make some dinner. So, alright. I wonder if I can flip this thing around. Doesn't look like it. So, alright guys. I'll catch you next time, or further along on this project when we get back started. Yeah, bloopers right there, but so it is. I'm not perfect. Alright guys, see you later.